Well, there, it's out now. I'm from West Dallas. Could you tell from the track jacket or my voice? Can you tell? Is it amazing that Dana's so wholesome and her and I sound completely different? We're from the same place? We went to the same high school. Wow, you're like, wow, people from West Dallas went to high school, right? That's the wow factor right there. Speaking of West Dallas, is everybody in here vaccinated? Come on, the staff can't see everyone, even the lights are down. Who's lying? You guys, doesn't matter, I am. You guys carry your cards with you? Right, you shook your head right away. She's like, no, right, you're my kind of person. Why? You don't carry, because you lost it? Who gives a shit, right? Like, I don't care, I don't carry it. I think the show me your papers stuff is weird, honestly, and I look like the descendant of all the show me your papers people, right? I'm like, I'm grandfathered in, or how do the Germans say it? What are they, like, peapawed in or something? Is that? I don't know. I'm vaccinated. I don't know. I don't think anybody should have to show proof that they're actually vaccinated. I don't care at this point. I'm from West Dallas. We've established it. But I will say this. I was like, there is one group of people that should have to say how they got vaccinated. It's the people who went to the Wisconsin State Fair and got vaccinated in exchange for a cream puff, right? Those people took a year of COVID and a lot of people dying to go, I ain't getting that vaccine. I don't know what's in it and I care about what goes into my body. And then they're like, but if they're giving away pastries, it'd be stupid for me to not get it, right? It's like, I care about what goes into my body. Well, they sucked down a pastry, stepping over a pile of horse shit, getting manure in their flip-flops. And they're like, well, I mean, you know, how bad could the vaccine get if they're giving us a cream puff, right? It's disgusting. I don't know. COVID sucked, right? Like, I guess it's back. I don't know, right? It's back. Like Jurassic Park movies, it comes back every couple of years now. I don't know. That was a shitty apocalypse, right? That was not the apocalypse we were sold by Hollywood, was it? Like it wasn't like what they said was going to happen in like Planet of the Apes, or The Walking Dead, or Dawn of the Dead, or Zack Snyder's remake of Dawn of the Dead. Like, that's not the apocalypse we got. Like, the only ones who got it right were Shaun of the Dead, and that was a comedy. It's like, oh, the world ended, but you still got to come to work tomorrow. What the fuck was that? The most evil thing to come out of coronavirus and everything was Zoom, right? Can we agree? It was Zoom. Like, your work's like, hey, it's too dangerous to come into the office, and they fucking FaceTime you the next day? And they're like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm wrapping a baseball bat in barbed wire right now, because I'm going hunting. What are you doing? They're like, well, you gotta go hunting after 5 p.m. because we got a code of conduct refresher on Zoom that we gotta sit through. It's only 3 hours. Not a better time right now than right now, right? That's what they say, not a better time right now than right now. That's what my work says in emails and Zoom meetings. Safety's no accident, guys. I learned that every day last year. Safety's no accident. That it was in Zoom meetings. It's fucking evil. I don't know. I hate everything, honestly, if you can tell by the tone of my voice. I have a shitty job. I don't love my job that much, honestly. Because I work in a shitty side of town. Like, I work down, okay, the guys I play basketball with every day, when I tell them where I work, they're like, oh, right? Like, it's 35th and North. You know where that is? Right. It's where the news is always at. It's horrible. There was one time I was leaving my one of the accounts I deal with at my job, and I was walking around the side of a building to my work truck, and a homeless guy was peeing on my truck. Right? And I was like, well, like, what? Like, that's malicious, because there were pine trees behind him, and he was, like, but I would be mad too if some asshole parked their work truck in my bathroom, right? Like that. I asked the guy, I'm like, the hell? He's like, what's your problem? I'm like, you're right, honestly, I'm in your house, which is everywhere, homeless man. And he was, okay, this was weird, because, first of all, it was jarring, because, not that it matters, but his dick was huge, right? Like, it was, right, you know how, man, you're like, you know how penises work, right? Like, it was huge, like, he was peeing, so you know it was soft, right? And it was big, you know. And you're like, how big is big? And I'm like, okay, so you know how, like I said, you guys all know how penises work, like that lady does. So what it is he had it in his hand, right? And it was like 3 inches past the top knuckle. Soft! Like that, it's like a Spectrum remote. You guys remember cable? Remember that? Yeah, it was a Spectrum. It was huge, like, and I was confused. Not like I wanted to suck it or nothing, but like I was confused. I was confused because I was like, with a dick that big, like how are you homeless? Like there ain't one girl that's like, I could use that. Like IKEA exists. It's full of shit that people don't need and they bring it home. Why not that big homeless dick? Like what? I was like, with a dick that big, like how do you not have a job, honestly, right? Like, okay, it's not gonna be honorable work, but like neither is my job. You know how I know? A homeless guy was peeing on my truck. Follow along. Nobody respects what I do for a job. The best part of my day, honestly, is I get to drive past the cemetery. It's the most uplifting part of my day, because I'm like, no matter how many yeah, we're still on it. No matter how many big dick homeless guys pee on my truck, someday it'll be that good, right? I look at headstones. I'm like uplifted. I'm like, wow, look at that. You know, dying the dream right there. I posted that on Facebook, and a guy I work with messaged me and goes, hey man, that was really funny what you posted on Facebook. And I'm like, yeah, well I don't want to work here anymore, so let's get this trending. Likes don't cost nothing, JD. And he goes, yeah man, when I die, I'm gonna come back and haunt this place. And I was like, we can't even get you to pick up an extra day. Don't act like you're gonna die and then come back for unpaid overtime for all eternity. I never know where to put this joke in a set, so I'm just gonna do it right now. You guys watch Soft White Underbelly? It's a YouTube channel where a photojournalist interviews people who are really messed up, like Cubs fans or like murderers. You know, like he talks about people. He has like, how did you get this way? And it's always dad was mean. That's how it always got that way. And there was one episode that was super weird because the title threw me for a loop. It said, a former pedophile speaks out. And I was like, former? Like, what, did he retire? Because like, here's the thing about pedophiles. I don't know if you know, man, but like, they're the one group of people that have never said, I'm getting too old for this. Like, that's how, right? You got it. That's how they became pedophiles. Like, being too old for this is like their thing, right? Like, I think he was like a got caught pedophile, right? Like, he wasn't gonna quit, but those meddling kids, you know? It's a long way to go for a Scooby-Doo joke, I don't know. This is going to be some advice for the guys in here, just so you know. If you are ever the +1 at a lesbian wedding, and they come to the part of the ceremony where the minister says you may now kiss the brides, and your girlfriend looks at you and says, hey, don't fucking say anything. The correct response is not, I'm watching. I learned that, like, just don't say that. Like, the answer is nothing. Like, I was at a lesbian wedding 3 weeks ago, and it was hot. Beautiful. I'm supposed to say beautiful. It was hot. Not supposed to call it a sexy wedding or nothing. You're not supposed to say that kind of stuff. That's weird. I don't know. You're not supposed to do those things. But, like, also, they had a taco truck. Which is, like, their joke. Like instead of having, like, the little salmons and stuff that don't fill you up, you got, like, 3 tacos. And my girlfriend was like, what kind of tacos are you gonna get? And I'm like, I'm watching. Like, you can't, the bridal table gets to go first. Like, come on. Right? That's messed up. You guys drinkers in here? We're, you know, Milwaukee adjacent. You guys drinkers? Man, I was at a bar, I don't know if you guys know, it's called Left's Lucky Town in Wauwatosa. That's one of my favorite bars. I was in there one time and I heard a guy order a beer and they handed it to him and cracked it open and he took a sip of it and went, effervescent. I'm like, that's a weird way to describe Natty Light. Effervescent? I'm like, what, are you the one dude in Wauwatosa that watches the word of the day on the Quick Trip gas pumps? And you're like, I'm using that one at the bar tonight with the boys. Effervescent, yum, right? Like, it's not how I describe it, but you know what's even worse than Natty Light? They make a thing called Natter Days. Any lesbians in here from the wedding? Does anybody know about Natter Days? Natter Days is strawberry lemonade infused Natty Light. They dump Country Time into Natty Light, and they're like, hey, guess what? It's a summer drink. But like, you know what it tastes like? It tastes like a summertime camp out, but you're in your parents' backyard because you were evicted 3 months ago, and they don't know you're back there. That's what Natter Days looks like. And I was like, what intersection of gay and racist is this for? Right? Like, strawberry lemonade infused. Is it for somebody who has like a rainbow Confederate flag? Or I don't know, like a NASCAR enthusiast who can't quite tell his dad yet? Or is it like somebody who can't stomach barley and hops or interracial dating? Like, who the fuck is that for? So this is gonna be the commercial I'm gonna write for you guys because I don't know who it's for. It's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be a little bit racist. We won't call it racist anymore. We'll call it Americana. I see a lot of white people in here. We'll call it Americana. You know what I'm saying? So what's more Americana racist than the Gravedigger monster truck, right? It's gonna come out of the tunnel at the Fiserv and just roll over some pussy ass Priuses because this is America and we don't play that shit here, right? Diesel, baby. It's also gonna be a little bit gay, so it also doesn't have to be American. So who's driving it right now? Does anybody know? That's right. It's gonna be Elton John dressed as a sparkling peacock. That's right. And he's gonna roll down. Some of you are already ahead of me. You know where this is going. He's gonna roll down the window, and he's gonna hold out the can, and he's gonna go, nowadays, 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 nowadays. This joke is mostly filler, but it's also low calorie. Nowadays, nowadays, nowadays. You're gonna keep the show going,